Hi, my name's Ken Shuman, and I'm the Executive Director of Faith Walking. Faith Walking was birthed about 12 years ago now, and it was birthed as a program of Mission Houston. And because these principles and this process worked so powerfully, word began to spread. We have Faith Walking groups on the East Coast, West Coast, everywhere in between. There are Faith Walking groups in Canada, in Central America, and in Great Britain. Churches have taken on Faith Walking as a key discipleship piece in their discipling programs in their churches. Entire denominations are impacted by the work of Faith Walking. Today, there are people enrolled and engaged in Faith Walking courses online from England, from Spain, from Cambodia, from Switzerland, and from Australia that are in our groups. As Faith Walking has grown, it's created challenges for our board and staff. How do we adapt? How do we move from this thing that was local now to something that not only is national, but that is growing international? As we began that journey and as we began to think about Faith Walking, we started with our why. Why Faith Walking? Why do we exist? What we believe is that we live in a world that's really broken. We live in a world where people are highly anxious and reactive. We live in a world where people have wounds from their past that keep holding them back. And as a result of that, they show up in the world often unloving and regularly unconcerned about the common good. It seems like even among Christians and churches that Christians mostly inconsistently follow the way of Jesus. We believe that God's design and God's desire is for wholeness to be in individuals and in communities and in the world. We believe that God's hope is for, as the Old Testament uses the phrase shalom, for shalom to be present, for there to be peace, for there to be unity, for there to be completeness, for there to be wholeness, for there to be well-being in everyone and for everyone. We believe that as the model prayer describes for us, that God's heart and God's desire is for the kingdom to come on earth just as it is in heaven. What we believe is that the principles that are taught in Faith Walking and the process that people experience in Faith Walking is making wholeness possible for individuals, for communities, and for the world. And we're amazed at how God has used this ministry to work in people's lives and to touch and move them. We have countless stories of how God is bringing transformation. And we have a growing number of stories of people who are getting on mission with God, serving the poor, the marginalized, the overlooked, and the ignored. Our vision, our hope, our dream is for Faith Walking to be accessible to every person in the world so that participants become agents of wholeness in their own context. In order to be accessible to the whole world, we had to recreate our delivery system. And so last year, at about this time, we launched Faith Walking Foundations. In addition to launching Faith Walking Foundations, we also increased our fees. And we increased our fees so that we could move toward that long-term financial sustainability that we need. What we believe deeply within our hearts is that we're going to have to multiply the number of Faith Walking Foundations facilitators moving forward. Right now, we have 6 Faith Walking Foundations facilitators, and over the next 3 years, we hope to increase that to 32 Faith Walking facilitators. I believe that the world needs Faith Walking. And I'm absolutely certain that Faith Walking needs you. We need you to partner with us. We need you to participate with us. We have a really small staff team. And the only way that we're going to accomplish this really large vision is through the grace of God, through generous donors, and through a growing number of volunteers just like you who coach and who facilitate and who lead circles and who do the many other things that are needed in order for a ministry like this to be successful. This week, we're going to launch an online fundraising campaign. We're doing an online campaign rather than doing a banquet or a gala here in Houston because we realize we've grown beyond one city and now we're not only national but international. During this online campaign, It's going to last for 2 weeks. Our goal is to raise $60,000. We want to raise this money so that we can keep doing the things that we need to do. It will enable us to continue to facilitate courses online for people around the world. It will enable us to continue to partner with circles and to support them and to help train them and to help equip them. It will enable us to continue to develop content, and it will enable us to equip, train, and empower all of these new facilitators that we're going to need. Faith Walking is growing, but we're not yet able to fund our work without your help. And so we're going to ask you to consider giving during this campaign. We're going to ask you to pray about it, see what God lays on your heart. My wife Becky and I, we give regularly to Faith Walking on a monthly basis. But as we've prayed and as we've sought God, we've discerned that we're going to give $1,000 above and beyond our regular giving to help us in this work because we believe in the work so very much. What I'm convinced of, folks, is that if every person that's been touched in some way by Faith Walking, by the work, the principles, the process of Faith Walking, would give something, we can accomplish this goal. So here's what's going to happen. Over the next 2 weeks, on a daily basis, you're going to be getting something from our team. You're going to be getting emails. There are going to be things on social media. The things that you're going to receive are going to be in 2 categories. They're going to be powerful personal stories of transformation from faith walkers. And then they're going to be content pieces that are intended to help you to continue to grow in your own personal transformation, or maybe to remind yourself of some principles that you've forgotten. Those content pieces and the stories are going to be inspiring, and they're going to be educational. And they're intended to help you in your own transformation, but they're also intended to be items that you can share with others. They're going to be free resources, and we want you to share with others. And so in order to engage in the campaign with us, there are 3 things we're going to ask you specifically to do with us over the next 2 weeks. The first thing is you can pray with us and for us. I want to invite you to pray for me, because I guarantee you I need it. I ask you to pray for our staff team. I ask you to pray for our board. I ask you to pray for all of our volunteers. And I ask you also specifically to pray that God would move in people's hearts so that the resources will be released so that we can do the kingdom work that we believe God's called us to do. The second thing that you can do is you can participate in the campaign with us. You can participate by reading the material that comes your way. Read the stories and listen to people's journeys and listen to people's experiences about living missionally. Listen to the content pieces because those can inspire you, encourage you, and teach you and train you so that you can keep transformation alive in your own life. And we encourage you as you participate by listening yourself to share them with other people. Share them with your friends, share them with fellow church members, share them with family members. And the third thing, obviously, is you can give. Ask God, Lord, do you want me to be a partner with Faith Walking? Do you want me to engage in this kingdom work with them? And if so, what do you want me to give? And then whatever God tells you to do, do that. And we'll be extremely grateful for whatever it is and extremely grateful for your generosity. I believe together we're making wholeness possible. And by making wholeness possible, the world is changed and becomes better. I believe that participating in this work is kingdom work. I hope you'll participate. And my prayer for you is this. My prayer is that the shalom of God would just engulf and surround you and your family and your church. And my prayer is that we together will see God's kingdom come on earth just as it is in heaven. Thanks for your generosity, and thanks for your time.